Hello and welcome to MGP271, the EGX 2017 special. I'm Kev and with me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello there.
And how are we all on this fine evening? Have we recovered from our hectic weekend in Birmingham for EGX?
No.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I have. I'm okay.
You've not recovered, Anna.
No, I had time to recover.
Oh dear.
Out every day at 10 to 8 in the morning.
That sounds...
Oh, boo-hoo.
It is boo-hoo when I've been out all weekend.
I have to leave the house at bloody 7.
I have to get on a bus full of teenagers and then go learn.
What kind of monster leaves the house at 7?
A monster who doesn't
8
start till
hours a
half 8.
day.
You start at 8:30 but leave your house at 7? Do you walk to work?
No, it's getting early.
That's your own fault. Who gets there early?
Weirdos, that's who. I think we need to clarify as early as possible in this episode, because it was the pressing question from the videos that we released about EGX over the weekend. This was in Birmingham in the UK, not Birmingham in Alabama. At least 2 different people asked me to clarify that in the comments of the video. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the English accents and the fact we were in England was enough of a giveaway. So this is the EGX that takes place in Birmingham in England. If you're looking for a review of EGX in Birmingham, Alabama, that's not this. Although we do talk about barbecue food at one point, so I guess you probably get everything you were looking for anyway. So it's up to you whether you stick around. I'll leave the ball in your court. Did we all have a good weekend then?
Yeah, a very good weekend.
Mm.
It was the best EGX has been at the NEC, I think. Do we agree with that
I would
statement?
Agree, 100%. Yeah.
Possibly, yes. Probably, yeah, definitely. Think about it. you talked me into it then.
I am a persuasive man.
They all feel like they're all a blur now. They are all a blur to me now. I can barely remember the weekends, let alone last year's and the year before.
This one was a lot less of a blur because we weren't high on energy drinks all weekend, because they weren't forcing them down our neck at every opportunity. So I feel like I've got less of a hangover and I remember more of it because I wasn't high on energy the whole time. Yeah. So I think that. I don't know if the actual event was better or if it's just because I'm remembering less sugar slumps than what I've had previously. Did you enjoy it, Anna? Do you think it's the best one they've had there?
It's what, sorry?
Do you agree that it was the best one they've had at the NEC?
It's alright.
That's not what I asked.
It was just a bit small, I thought.
This is the first time I've come back from an EGX and I don't have a lurgy. So I'm wondering whether the fact it was a bit smaller means they must have missed out 1 or 2 game companies. And those 1 or 2 game companies must have been the dirty ones that
the big obvious one that missed out was EA. They didn't have any kind of presence there.
So this is it.
Yeah, they had a couple of their games sort of scattered around with the different companies, but there wasn't a big EA area like there has been occasionally in the past. The EA party bus used to be a regular thing at EGX, and then it would make the trek up to Manchester for Play Expo as well. So the fact that the EA party bus wasn't there, I think that's significant.
But do you think maybe that's the reason I've not got a cold then? Because
Could be.
There's no EA riffraff there.
No EA party bus, exactly. So that could well be the reason. In which case, just blame EA for all your sniffles that you've ever had.
I will, because honestly, it feels weird being at the start of October and I'm not dying of some weird flu.
Where are we? We've said it was a little bit smaller than what it's been previously. Do we actually think it was that much? Apart from the absence of EA, was it actually smaller? I know they didn't have the separate over 18s area tucked away at the back that they've had in the past that can sort of artificially inflate the size of it. But those games were all still there. They were just scattered around the show floor. There was individual booths throughout the event rather than one big booth hidden away at the back like there's been in the past. But I think anything that we lost from the likes of EA and energy drink providers was probably gained back in the massive Twitch arena and all the esports and PC manufacturers that were there. So I think there was still a lot there. It just wasn't necessarily as many games.
I'm still not sure. I mean, I bet if you I can't be bothered to do it myself, but if you compared last year's roster, there's probably the same number of games.
Oh yeah, if you compare it to last year, definitely. Last year was the real low point, and it was the first time I ever came away from it wondering if I could really be bothered to go again, because it was just total dross last year.
I was saying, haven't I? This is the first time I've thought I will definitely go next year.
Yeah, but if you compare every year around EGX time, there's a screenshot pops up on my Facebook memories of the floor map of, I think it was probably the last one they had at Earl's Court, where you've got this just one corner of the show floor that's got a Borderlands game, a Call of Duty game, a Bioshock game, an Elder Scrolls game, so like 3 or 4 other massive titles, all in just this one corner. And I don't think we had massive game upon massive game like that necessarily. But I don't know, the games that were there I think were better than what we've had in the last 3 or 4 years, easily.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Gaming's back, everybody.
A lot of the big titles aren't your regular big titles either. I mean, like it wasn't Call of Duty. I mean, that was there, wasn't it? But that wasn't like a main.
It was dwarfed by
when you
Destiny
went to the PS.
The Call of Duty
Destiny
area
2
was a little shed.
Was huge. Shadow of War had a big presence.
I think it's an interesting decision on the part of Activision, bearing in mind obviously Destiny and Call of Duty are both their properties, and they've decided to have an absolutely enormous Destiny area and the Call of Duty shed. It's quite interesting to see where they see those two games in their lineup, which I don't think we'd have seen that previously.
I think with Destiny 1 burning a lot of people, I think they're trying to get a lot of people back on board, whereas the no Call of Duty shells regardless. So I think that might be a thing, trying to get them back on.
They could have had one console with Call of Duty on and people would have queued all day for it, I imagine.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Sony area was... Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say I don't remember speaking to anyone all weekend who played Call of Duty. And we spoke to a lot of people. So I don't know if people would have necessarily...
I was going to say the Sony bit didn't really depend on one big... Like normally that had a couple of big games, or you'd go into the Sony area and you'd play FIFA, which always baffled me.
Well, we did go in there and play the wrestling game.
Yeah, but again, that's like a one you wouldn't expect to be the game they're throwing out there. It was one of many good ones. It was one. Well, I said good ones. You didn't like it, but they had Ni no Kuni. They had I always forget what it's called. The Deception one where you've got to fool each other. They had the Detroit Become Human. They had the Lego
that wasn't
games.
Playable, was it, Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did I not see that all weekend? I would have been all over that. Why didn't anyone say that to me?
Oh, Pap and I
we were watching. We were looking at through the thing. Yeah,
we would have both gone on that, wouldn't we?
I didn't want to sit and play it.
To be fair, I forgot about it. Else I would have done myself.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to play it because I don't want to spoil it. I'm just going to.
Yes, that's right.
Regardless,
that's right.
I just wanted to check that it looked as good as the others, and it does.
No, I would have been all over that. Yeah. I would have queued 2 hours happily to play that.
It was right next to where that giant PSVR headset was.
Yeah, while you were playing wrestling, I went for a little wander because I was trying to find a bag for my posters, and I stood looking at it for a little bit then.
Not happy now. So I've got a list in front of me that Pav has assembled through studious research of the games that we played over the course of the weekend. You've written Destiny 2 down on this list. Did you really play Destiny 2? Yeah. This game that you already own?
I played Destiny 2.
And have finished?
Yeah, basically because they promised in-game items, which had me going, I want a new shader or a new item that is going to be in the game. It was. That turned out not to be the case. I got a T-shirt, so it wasn't too bad, and a Rockstar energy drink. Mm-hmm. And the queue was half an hour. I queued for half an hour to have a game of Destiny.
Well, that's because the game's
Got beat
been
by a
out for
bunch of
3
kids.
weeks
And then
already. That's why there's not much of a queue for that.
Yeah, I know. No, the queues were big. We just happened to get it at the right time. Yeah, it was all right. It was Destiny playing Crucible. Like I say, I got beat by a bunch of kids.
Good.
Did they take your money?
Yeah, they were giving us a lot of abuse over the money. Just giving us. I was like, what's good? But the guy who brought us in was encouraging it. I was like, well, we're just trying to have a good time here. What's going on? We're getting shared at a bunch of youths.
I had a few weird, youthy, bantery rants. When you were playing that Lucky's Tale thing, there was some kids playing that pirate garbage behind us, and
Yes.
they were making loads of noises, and I just thought, ugh.
So, Destiny 2, you didn't actually get anything different to what you'd have got at home other than a T-shirt. So we can probably...
I got a T-shirt and I'm wearing it now.
Oh, yeah. So we can probably gloss over that T-shirt
You
aside.
don't need to talk about it. Yeah, just.
Do you want to review the T-shirt? Is it a good shirt?
Not bad. I've had worse T-shirts from a convention.
Ah, well.
Talking about ours, Pab, how rude.
No.
So, glowing review
Yeah.
for
Yes.
Destiny 2's T-shirt for their merch division. You've also written down
To be
Dragon
fair,
Ball
to be fair,
Fighter
the
Z.
stall is- Yes.
Did you play
it's
this
Dragon Ball
before
Z.
we got that?
I
Dragon
played
Ball
it
Z
on the
pack.
Friday.
That clearly says Z at the end.
Whatever you want.
Well, the
I
letter
played
Z
it on
is
Friday. Yes, Z. Whatever.
Thank you.
I played it on Friday. It is from the people who made the Guilty Gear series of fighting games. And it played pretty well. It looked very pretty. It looked very nice. Animated well. And it's just another fighting game. I'm not really massive into fighters. But I don't mind Dragon Ball Z stuff. Z. Sorry.
Yeah. Z.
And it seemed alright. It might be a game I might be interested in at a later date when it comes out in February, I think, 2018. Yeah. Not much else to say on it.
Splendid.
But it is a fighter.
And then that's pretty much it for your Friday, other than the bath that you had by yourself in the hotel while you waited for us. Get yourself nice and clean, ready for Kev to arrive. And arrive we did on the Saturday morning, and
Yes.
we sort of split up as soon as we got there, because Anna did her thing that she only does every 3 or 4 years at EGX. This is when we know it's a good EGX, because the last time she did this was for Borderlands 2 or Borderlands pre-sequel. I don't remember which one it was, but it was in Earl's Court. She ran up the escalators, she ran across the upstairs area. Well, this time, as soon as we walked in, she just started running towards Assassin's Creed Origins, only to get to the end of a hour-long queue that had already formed by like 20 past 10 in the morning, which is ridiculous. But me and Anna went to play that while you two went off to play South Park.
Yes.
Tell us about South Park, then we'll come back to Assassin's Creed.
Ultimately, I thought it was really cool. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes.
When it comes out properly. But the demo was a bit adult, a bit R-rated to really go into on this show without people having to have their kids away from it.
It was the same demo that was at Insomnia, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So it was. I think we've described previously how mucky it was.
Oh, okay, cool. Because there's a mini game doing a lap dance for an adult. You're an 8-year-old boy. You have to make a DJ a drink. That was disgusting.
Yes.
I think really it looks like it's a bit of a filter. It's basically saying this is the mechanics. They're fine. You know, they're as good as they're improved on the last one, but they're still just good. And then if you can handle this part of the story, you'll probably be all right.
Yeah, the guy did say it was more or less the start of the game. So it is basically getting you into used to all the mechanics and stuff, because I don't think the grid-based system was there in the last one, was it? Am I right?
No, you couldn't wander around the battle arena in the first one. It was just old RPG styled turn-based.
Yes.
From either side of the screen. Whereas, this one you can sort of line up your players in certain ways and then moves attack 2 or 3 squares ahead or a block of squares or whatever. I liked that. It took a little bit of getting used to the buttons because it was playing on a PS, wasn't it, rather than a Xbox. But no, I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for this game to come out. I love the fact that I'll get to basically play a feature-length long South Park story. I like being New Kid. I think that's a good character. Looking forward to sort of setting it all up, and just lots of little quirkiness that it has about, like, setting the character's race depends on how hard, makes the game a certain level of hardness and that kind of thing. They've got lots of little hints like that in there that kind of are commentary on the world. So yeah, I just love their comedy. I don't like the crass comedy, and I know that it seems like that's all they ever do because most of this demo was crass, but the rest of their comedy is awesome, and I can't wait. The new series has been really good. I'm hoping they'll do an episode that kind of feeds into this. It's out next month, isn't it? Oh no, November, isn't it? Or is it next month?
I think it's the end of October.
Yeah. I can't think of it. 16th of October, but that's another game. Loads of games coming out, obviously, silly season. And I do have them all kind of mentally logged, but I'm at a loss which one's which at the moment.
So while you were playing that, you'd finished playing that while me and Anna were still in the queue because we saw where you went next, which we'll get to in a minute. But me and Anna were still in the queue for Assassin's Creed. But when we finally got in there, we not only got to have a look at Assassin's Creed Origins, a playable version of it, having watched the trailer back at Insomnia, but more interesting for me is I got my sticky mitts on an Xbox One X for the first time because the man at the front gave us the hookup and said, you look like you want to go on an Xbox One X. This row here is on Xbox One X. The rest are on PC. Head to that row if you want to have a go on an Xbox One X. I did turn around and they looked identical on both of them, so I imagine that's kind of the point. I guess it's supposed to look equivalent to what it would look like on a PC. But for me, it was all about seeing how pretty it looked, and it looked proper pretty. For an Assassin's Creed game, I'll let Anna wax lyrical about it in a minute because she really enjoyed the demo. It didn't do enough to drag me back into the series, I don't think, mainly because the playable demo they had there was all on boats. You're swimming out to a boat, nicking something off a boat, and then riding a boat. I just spent the whole time on a boat. So I imagine there's... the one good thing is there was no boat warfare, and the actual little boat that I had to ride around to get from boat to boat, that wasn't too bad. I could actually control it, but... why? I mean, I was talking to the PR guy who was at the front of the queue, and he was saying that a lot of people really, really like the boats. That's where the series got good for them, and I just don't get it. The moment they brought those boats in Black Flag, just no. And why do you need boats in Egypt? Egypt's a desert, isn't it? How on earth do you have this game that's set in ancient Egypt and the demo is let's go and nick stuff off a boat? Ridiculous.
Nile?
Yeah, there is a big river in Egypt.
Yeah, but
isn't that like
don't focus in on that bit. We've done boats before. Let's leave boats for now and focus on sand. Let me make a sand castle.
Well, I'm guessing there is probably more stuff. It's just that is what the demo was around. I don't know.
Yeah,
whether that was just based.
It's been the worst thing about Assassin's Creed for the last 5 years. And they just give me a big pile of more of it. I mean, it controlled fine. It looked nice. It was fine. But it didn't wow me enough to get back into the series after like 3 games away from it. But Anna, you really enjoyed it, didn't you?
As much as an Assassin's Creed game is. It was an alpha build. The one that we had. So there was bits of graphical stuff that annoyed me, but then, like I said, it was alpha, so it was very early. I found it fine. I didn't really have any problems. A lot of stuff does pop up on your map as you're going through the section that we're on. Every time I was like going a couple of feet, like these question marks were all popping up on the little map thing, and the game room, we wanted to stop and go and have a look. I did it on one, but I thought, no, I've only got 15 minutes. I need to go and do the mission they said that they had. So I left that, and I just went on the mission where I had to go and save a boy, I guess, who was getting beat up. And I had to go and find these statues, and it was great. There was boats, but they weren't going anywhere. They were just stationed, and you could just go through it and do your assassin-esque things around there. So jumping off the poles, going around the side, swimming. There was enemies, and they had levels above their heads. I think we were quite in, like, the level was not like right at the start. It was like middle of the game, because these baddies were like level 20. I'm not sure what level we were, but I could get them down. Not with.
There was a big lad who was a bit of a handful when you first got onto the boat.
The ones on the boat, you just jump off the boat for a second, and then
that's what I did. But that's what I mean. He was a bit of a handful. It wasn't just a straight.
Yeah.
And actually, I need to ask you: when did Assassin's Creed change the controls? Because I'm certain that you used to attack using the thumb buttons, like the X button and all that. But this was attacking using the trigger, and I don't remember that being how you do Assassin's Creed. Oh, am I mental?
What?
To hit someone with your sword, you push the right trigger. I'm sure you used to push like X or A or something to do that.
Okay.
When did that change?
I don't know.
Because that really threw me early on. Why completely change the controls of an established game? The crazy kids.
I don't know. It didn't bother me that much. I was fine with it. Going underwater was delightful. It was very pretty under there. But all games now are getting really pretty with being underneath, and yeah, I really enjoy being under there. But there is hippos that will eat you, so you have to be very aware of where they are.
Oh, is that big sea monster that I had to kill? Was that a hippo?
Yeah, it was hippo.
Sea monster.
Well, it came out the sea and tried to attack me. I was too busy firing arrows into its face to look at what species it was. Well, there was plenty of water there, Pab.
It's a river.
Whatever.
It's a river.
It's the sea. A sea monster.
It's a river monster.
You're a river monster.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So it's annoying it comes out like there's 2 games out on the same day, which I'll probably just have to buy both, and then I don't know. Do I buy this one first, or do I buy the other one first?
What's the other one?
I'm very excited for both of them, but Wolfenstein.
And it's also the same day as Mario Odyssey is out as well.
Yeah, we don't have a Switch, so it doesn't matter.
Yet. We'll get to that.
No, you know my stance on that.
You want one?
We can't have one at the moment. Not really.
You've changed. I've got video evidence of you saying you wanted one.
Oh no, that game was very fun, but I would rather it in the new year than now, if I'm honest, because there's 3 games at the moment that I could name that I want to play in there. None of them are a short game, I don't think. So
it's a good point.
Assassin's Creed's going to be quite hefty. Wolfenstein, even though it's a linear game, is still going to be quite hefty because I'm a collector person and I like to collect everything in a game. And South Park, it's a RPG kind of game. They're never short, are they? So.
Which one are you looking forward to most out of the 3?
Oh, I don't know. They're all different, and they're all, like I said, you've got linear and you've got RPG, and then you've got, I don't even know what you'd call it, an adventure game. So they're all different for me, but I don't know. What like, they're all out in October, which is annoying. But then I finish in December uni till the end of January, so I'll have plenty of time to play any of them games. I'll just have to put them on the back burner. Like, get them when they come out, have a couple of hours, and I think, well, I've got work to put them away, take them away. So
I know we've said this before, but it always seems a little mad that they don't release games like Assassin's Creed at a different time of year and just have full domination. I mean, I guess they're big enough that they probably feel they've got full domination anyway, but
yeah.
If it was me, in looking at these games. Like, that's not even on my radar because I don't like them. But I'm kind of like, if I was into everything, I still don't think I'd put that in as a priority, because it's, you know what you're getting, don't you? It's something you could do once you've done all the others, just to tide you over to the next lot. And if you thought of it that way, it'd probably cost you less and whatever, you know. But I know you play them all simultaneously through the night, and you'll have them all done in a week. So
yeah.
But Assassin's Creed got the Anna's seal of approval.
Yeah, it was the only thing I was there to see. I seen it, I enjoyed it, I was happy.
And then you were ready to go home by 11 o'clock, weren't you?
Yep. I was had enough.
So while we were...
It's just because... Sorry. It's because we'd seen all the other EA stuff, not EA stuff, Ubisoft stuff at the thing a couple of weeks ago, and then I was just like, well, there's nothing else I really want to see. So
while we were queuing for and playing that, we noticed when we were halfway through the hour-long queue that these two were stood hogging the Mario Rabbids machine. Bearing in mind, Pab already owns this and had it with him, so they could have just sat in the car park playing it. But they were hogging it from this poor little boy who was in the queue behind him. And when we came out, we recorded a little bit of video about Assassin's Creed and then went to look for them, and they were still on this same machine with the same little lad stood behind them. You must have been on there for a good 45 minutes or so. So I take it you enjoyed Mario Rabbids and enjoyed tormenting a poor child.
the child was stupid because there was other machines available that he could have gone to, but he just stood behind us. I don't think we were tormenting him. I think he was just watching us play it for most of it. His dad just kept making comments because I think he was bored, and kept saying, I don't think I know how to play this. I don't think I'm going to be any good. Are you sure that you want me to play this with you? You know, but no, I thought the game was absolutely brilliant. You know, it's always been said it's like Mario XCOM, and I expected to like it, but I wasn't sure what to expect really from it. But we had a great time. I really enjoyed like the strategy and, you know, talking it through with Pab. And it's funny because at first he showed me the buttons and, you know, being a teacher and showing me what to do in that. And I'm thinking I'm going to do his head in a minute when I'm making mistakes. But, you know, as quite a nice sort of, you learn and you get into it. And then, you know, by the end of it, I think I was doing all right. And we were strategizing between us, weren't we? And it was like, oh, if we do this will happen. And I really enjoyed it. It was like we're saying, like, let's run to this point, and then I'll jump and I'll do this. And Pab pointed out you could like chain so that you'd jump off someone, go through a pipe, and then go through 3 other pipes and jump off someone, and you know you could end up doing sort of 5 goes worth of moves in one go if you'd chained it right. And just learning how to do all that, I loved it. I keep thinking to myself that would take up so much of my time if I had it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Have you gone back to it and played it anymore now he's taught you how to do it?
No. I've not really played much since we've been back. But I felt that was one of the more enjoyable games we've played over this weekend. It was just, I didn't even know there was multiplayer. It was co-op in the game. And I was sort of getting to me, that game, because I'm not very good at these sort of strategy type of games. I'm really not. But where Sheepdog is, so I knew the basics of how the game mechanically played, and Sheepdog knew what to do on the battlefield, so to speak. So we kind of worked well together in the sense of, because I was basically giving the basics of what needed to be done. And then he basically took that and then moved and did what he did on the battlefield, so to speak. And I really enjoyed it. It made me want to play it more. Now having this knowledge, so I might go back to it at some point. I probably will do. I really enjoyed it.
Splendid.
Did we ever establish whether we could do co-op online? Like, if I got it, could we?
I don't think. You could maybe do it, probably not online. Possibly like locally.
I already
No,
have visions
not
of you
on
two
my
going
house.
back to your hotel room on Saturday night and just sitting on the bed together playing this. I can just imagine you both sat there with your Switches at Comic-Con and you just
be
won't
fair,
leave your room.
We did do it on Sunday morning when we were waiting for you to
Yeah.
upload the videos.
We weren't sat on the same bed. We were sat on our own beds with the Switch on the table between us.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
was really good.
Surely you wouldn't have been close enough to
I
hold
enjoyed
hands
that.
if you were doing that.
Sorry?
You need to hold hands and then hold the Switch with your hand, with the other two hands. And then it's all romantic and whatnot. Oh, sorry,
No.
Pab. No, am I describing it wrong? That's not how it happened.
No. We just had one Joy-Con each, and then the Switch on the table.
Ah,
So we did it.
it's less interesting.
Yeah.
Thought we were going to get a sordid MGP romance tale.
No, afraid not.
Right. Is that all we played on the Saturday? Because next on your list is something from the Sunday, Pab. I can't believe we didn't play anything else on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I thought that. But,
I think we probably did. I just don't remember what it was. So we'll move on to Sunday.
I went through the... Yeah.
Did we not queue for the Xbox thing on that day?
No, that was on Sunday.
Oh,
morning, I think.
Sunday.
Okay, sorry, go on.
So that is pretty much the first thing we did Sunday morning, was getting the queue for the Xbox Mystery Box giveaway jobby, where
Yes.
you pretty much join a queue, standing next to a expensive looking Porsche, queue up for like half an hour, and then there's a table. A man stood next to a shed with a table with a load of boxes. You pick a box and then open up the box, and whatever prize is described in it, you get. And we all won a prize because we're awesome,
Yeah.
and I've got really big hands and accidentally picked up 2 boxes. But we got... I got a swag bag. Anna got a couple of games. She got Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break. Pab got a swag bag as well with an assist from old Kev. And Sheepdog really lucked out and got himself a whole month of VA access.
Yeah, I kind of... Do you know, I was thinking to myself on the way out, like, what the guy said to me rings true in that I could install that and play the new FIFA and whatever else is coming out. I won't, but I could. I think what I should do is give it away to a listener. I haven't got it to hand, but maybe if someone just tweets me and says, "Oh, Sheepdog, I'll have it," I'll send them it. Because, like the guy said, you get a month of playing the new FIFA and whatever other gubbins are on there that you like the look of. I had this service for a year and only played about 3 games on it. I think playing those 3 games probably warranted the price of it, but it's one of those things where I think if I was constantly on my Xbox all the time, playing it, that this would be great. But yeah, it's not really one for me. I kind of get a game and then struggle to fit it in, and
all the
enjoy
Mass
the moments
Effect
when I
games
do.
are on there now. All of them.
Yeah, I'm not going to replay them, am I?
All of them.
I own all of them.
All of them are on there. Every last one of them. Gameplay wise, on the Sunday, me and Pab continued our mission to destroy each other. We couldn't find a free FIFA in there at any point, so we'll just call me the champion of FIFA for this year, unless we get an opportunity to play it at Play Expo, which I imagine we probably will.
Yeah.
But we took each other on WWE 2K18, and this is a game that I'd been quite interested in because I already do a wrestling game on my channel, and people have been asking for this one, and I haven't really played them for years. But we had a little go on it, and I really struggled to get my head around these controls. So our first match was over inside 20 seconds because one of Pab's first moves was accidentally putting me in a really basic headlock, which I then couldn't work out the mini game to get out of, so the game submitted me to a headlock. So that was 1-0 Pab. And then we had another game where we were both even more incompetent, and it must have gone on for 15 minutes of us just going back and forth. I had a 3 or 4 minute period where my character AJ Styles was just lying down on the floor and wouldn't get up. Eventually he got up, and then Pab's John Cena lied down for 3 or 4 minutes while I just kept repeatedly jumping off the top rope. And then
Yep, you did.
We both hit finishes on each other, and it was an epic. If this was a real match, it would have been amazing. Apart from all the lying down.
Yeah, we sold it well.
But then eventually, it was such a dodgy ending where I had my charged finisher after about 3 leaps off the top rope to smush you down. I had my charged finisher, walked up to you, tried to hit it, you reversed it, and because we'd worn each other down so much, I couldn't kick out of the pin. And at the time, I was frustrated at how incompetent we were, but the more I've been thinking about it, the more I've been thinking, actually, you know what? For 2 people who didn't know what they were doing, we had a pretty epic match on that. And imagine how much more fun it would be if we understood the controls. So I'm kind of tempted.
It probably
by
wouldn't be as
still.
fun.
It might not be, but I am a little bit tempted.
I'm always tempted by them, but after playing that, they still control really badly.
Oh yeah,
They
we
don't
didn't have
feel-
any
they
idea
don't
what was
feel
going
fun
on
to
for
play.
most of the game, did we? We just had no idea what
No.
was happening.
It doesn't feel fun to play. It's kind of janky at times.
It was funny watching you try and slide back onto the ring before the ref ended the match. So many times you didn't know why you'd jumped out of the ring, and you didn't know how to get back in, and the ref would be going like 1, 2, and you'd be like, "Argh."
Yeah. They're very technically impressive games. They look quite nice, don't they? They do look the part.
Oh yeah, it looked good.
But since 2K have taken them over, they have never really controlled very well. They never really played very well. I think we only had the game that we did because we didn't know what we were doing. We were just bumbling around for 20 minutes. I don't think it would ever be like that again if we knew what we were doing.
That's a real
I think
shame.
we would be
'Cause
much more.
It was an epic.
Yeah.
It was WrestleMania main event worthy.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah.
The amount of false finishes we had, it was amazing. But
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. I've sat looking at it on Amazon, and I think I'll probably just contact them for a review because I think they've given us reviews before. But I really am tempted by it because
You could probably get content out of it. You could probably get quite a bit of content out of that. I know a lot of YouTubers do get content from that game.
even though I'm incompetent at it. But then being incompetent doesn't stop me putting FIFA videos out every day. So let's not let my inability to play the game hold me back. So that was that one. Pab, you went on stage at Nintendo. You're now an official Nintendo celebrity, it seems.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. Even though I got slated on there and I got stitched up royally.
And you said at the end, and I felt really sad when you said, "Did you at least film any of that?" And I was like, "No." Didn't even occur to me to take a picture.
Yeah, it was. I had to go. I went up. Basically, the premise of the guy said, "Has anyone played this mode on Splatoon?" And like 2 people put their hands up. So then he said it again. So I went, right, I'll put my hand up and I'm going to get on stage. And I'm going to get something. So I stuck my hand up. And he said, "How many times have you played it?" And I went, "Twice. I haven't played it at all." That mode of Splatoon 2. But I'd seen videos and I knew what I was doing. So the guys go, "Okay, you're going to be on the Switch. You're going to be on that Switch. You're going to switch. You're going to be in the docked Switch with the Joy-Cons. And yours is the view that everyone's going to see on the big screen behind you." So I was like, right, okay, a bit of pressure on now then. Okay, fair enough. I know what I'm doing. Fine. So I'm leant over the couch, like pretty much crouched next to this little kid. And then this technician guy comes out the back and goes, "Just unplug the controller, you'll be fine. You don't need to be plugged in." 'Cause I was wired in. So now I went, okay, take it out, get going. And then as soon as the game starts, my character just starts absolutely just going insane, just going the wrong way, going insane. And then the guy starts going, "You're going the wrong way. Get back to your team. What are you doing, player one?" And all this just started.
He was really hammering you. He's like,
I was like, what? That's not me.
"Why not
bro.
try and
What's
play
going
it
on?"
as a team, player one?"
Yeah. And I was like, and then they goes, "Why not try plugging the controller in?" Oh, right, it's my fault, is it? Your technician told me to unplug it, did he? So I plugged it back in, it started working fine. But by that point, I was having a nightmare. I came fourth in the group. And made a show of myself on the big screen.
But you did get a lanyard out there and some stickers.
I got yeah, but everyone else got tote bags with like goodies in it and stuff. I thought that was insulting.
You were dining out on that
give me a
lanyard for the rest of the
bag.
weekend. Everyone you saw was so impressed you had a Nintendo lanyard.
Yeah, they were, but I mean, imagine how impressed it would have been if I had a little bag carrying a Nintendo on the side of it.
They'd have assumed you bought that.
It'd have been bold. Yeah, probably. Yeah, so yeah, I did get a lanyard and some stickers and a poster from them, but like I say, it came at a cost of me making a fool of myself on the Nintendo stage.
I'd be quite happy
yeah,
to fool of myself for some stickers and a lanyard. I'd have no issue with that at all.
That's why I thought, because like one of the developers in Indie Group booth said, you don't get anything out of Nintendo. Nintendo won't give you anything. I said, well, you have to basically be on stage and win something to get anything out of Nintendo these days. So I got something from nothing. So
I'm going to frame my Mario hat from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you should do. Yeah, definitely.
That was the first of, well, not the first because we had Mario Rabbids, I guess, but one of many experiences with the Switch that we had over the course of the weekend. We all snuck off at separate points to have a go on Sonic Forces. Me and Anna thought we were doing it secretly behind your backs, and then when we met up with you again, you two had both played it as well. I wasn't particularly impressed with it. We played the Switch version.
Did you?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
It was really weird when it was 3D. It just didn't seem to work properly at all. When it switched to side-on, it was okay, but too fast. And the boss battle that it had on there was a bit meh as well. I wasn't at all impressed. You weren't that keen on it either, were you, Anna?
Nah, it just the side squad it was fine, but I'm past all that now.
Yeah, I think Sonic Mania's broken me, and I'm just not going to get bitten again. It was too fast, and I didn't kill the boss first time, therefore I'm not interested. I imagine Sheepdog loved everything about it.
I liked the 2D. The boss was ridiculously hard, though. It was just... he had a machine gun, and you should run away from it. I feel like they need to fix it if you get hurt, because you lose your rings, and there's no way to go pick any of them up.
Yeah. Which
seems really dumb, because it was like Pal said to me, well, there's 9 rings there, take one at a time, which was good advice.
Not that simple.
No, like I couldn't eat. The controls were too janky to aim and just get one ring for a start. Like if I jumped towards them, I'd probably end up getting 2 at least, if not 3. The second you get hit, you're like, right, I've got none. It was just like, okay, maybe I can get hit 3 times, 4 times if I'm lucky and not lose. But it was just so hard. If that's the first boss of the game, I don't know what they're thinking. They're gonna have to scale that right back. The 3D one was, like you say, just too fast, too clunky. It felt like all I was doing was holding the direction, and I wasn't even particularly controlling that. I think, I'd bounce all over the shop and then fall over the edge, or there was a point where player 2 joins with you and you go on some weird drive, like some weird, like super fast thing where I didn't know what I was doing. I'm a bit disappointed that I can't just play as Sonic and Tails like in Mania. I know you're saying that broke you, but I completed that with my 4-year-old, and he was good at it, and we played it together, and it was great. Whereas this one, I'd have to play it on my own. That's going to automatically hinder it because I won't have him sat next to me really getting into it. And if it's already too hard on what seems like the first boss, I just, you think you're going to give up. I mean, I've got a bit of perseverance for these things, and I just can't see me bothering with that. Part of me is like, okay, maybe I'll try and get it. Like this. I don't want this to sound a bit too, I don't know, like some people don't like it when this sort of thing's said, but part of me is thinking if I can get a copy of it for review, I'll probably play it and try and give it a chance to see what it's like. But if I can't get a copy of it for review, I don't see myself paying for it because it just wasn't that good as a demo, really. I got an awesome poster, which is now on my son's wall. He thinks it looks amazing, and I'm glad that he really liked it. It was worth the care and attention I put in that whole Sunday to try and preserve this poster. He was absolutely chuffed when I got back, and It had two sides. It had a Sonic Forces side and a Sonic Mania side, and he wanted the Sonic Forces one up because that had Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, and Silver Sonic, and it looks really imposing. He loved it. He's looking at it, just thinking it was really cool. Which is, the game looks really cool. The whole kind of darkness around it looks really cool, but it just seems too hard. And as I say, hopefully I'll get a review copy, play it, love it, and then think it was worth buying. But so far the demos put me off buying it, and it's probably a shame, really, because I would have bought that if I hadn't played it at EGX.
Interesting. Mario Odyssey we queued up for rather a long time. You didn't play, but we all did, and I was rather impressed with it. There's two different demos to choose from. There's a city-based hub level, or there's a proper gamey version of a desert-y thing, like Assassin's Creed, but without the boats. And we all played at that point. We played the city. I think Pab, you'd played the other one a couple of days before as well. We were all very impressed. It plays like a Mario game. It looks like a Mario game. They gave away cardboard Mario hats, and it was just a pleasant experience. And I think is probably enough to convince me that we do need to take the plunge on a Switch at some point. Although, as Anna says, not till next year now. What did you lot think of Mario Odyssey?
I obviously only watched it. I thought it looked really cool. The reason I didn't want to play it was because I figured I know what the controls are for 3D Mario. I just want to see what the puzzles are like. They look really cool. I enjoyed watching Pab play it. He did the Find a Musicians mission. I'll let him cover the rest because, it looks cool. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, so I mean, Sheepdog watched me do it's the new Donk City map, and like you say, it felt more like a hub world where you're just doing bits and pieces of missions, whereas the desert town area felt like a proper map. And I was platforming, and there was a boss in that map. I was told by the guy on the booth said that you can beat the boss in the desert map, but I don't think there was an actual boss in the city level. So I don't know how much there is, because I mean, the basic premise is to collect moons, isn't it, to power your ship, and there are several moons in there. I think I got 7 or 8 Sheepdog in the city map. Was it?
Yeah, you got quite a lot. I thought that was going to be something where they were quite rare and you'd only get one every now and again, or maybe a bit like puzzle pieces in Banjo-Kazooie where you'd have to get them, but they'd be harder to get, and that's where you'd spend like hours. But you seem to rattle through and get 7 or 8, which is impressive.
It did seem like there was a lot in each of them. I mean, I got, like I say, I reckon I've got about 8 in the city map, and there was a similar amount in the desert map, but there was obviously a boss to do, and you probably get they felt like they're a lot like stars from was it Mario 64?
Yeah,
there was like multiple stars in each level. But you didn't have to like go in and out of the map like you used to do in Mario 64. You just go around and get them all one at a time, sort of thing. But yeah, really good. The only thing I had a gripe with was how you played the game, because you played it with like the two Joy-Cons, but you had them 2 separately, just holding them in one in each hand, and nobody does that. I mean, it feels a very strange way to play that game, because I'd have it in the Joy-Con grip, so you'd have it all like in one thing together. Or on the actual Switch itself, I wouldn't just have the 2 out like that and just have them out like that. But I think they want you to do the motion controls with it.
There was motion controls.
He does. If you shook the controls like maracas, he span his hat around in a circle, like 360 wise.
Okay.
There was motion controls to it. The guy was telling me when I did it on the Friday of all different motions to do and what have you. But so there are motion controls. I never touched them because they weren't particularly great at recognising what you were doing either. But you didn't need to do it either. You really didn't need to do it. You just throw the hat out, take over something, and just be whatever you want it to be. Bullet bills, fish,
innocent people,
innocent people, taxis,
whatever you want it to be. That you can shout at other people and suddenly
I was a guy driving around a little run-up car for a little bit, wasn't I? That's right, I remember now. But yeah, it's just a really cool game, and I'd look forward to this. This is out on the same day, October 27th, and we'll have to talk about it then.
Splendid. That's the day we're at Comic-Con in London, isn't it? So we'll all get to go on Pab's version. Because you'll let us all play it before you get to go. I think that's only fair.
No, I'll have played it on the train for 2 hours. So.
No, that won't be allowed. You'll have to let us. We want to play a fresh install of it.
Okay, yeah.
In the spirit of 3D platformers, we then ran over to the Xbox zone and had a go on Super Lucky's Tale, which I thought was a perfectly pleasant little platform game. I enjoyed it. I did get up and leave halfway through it because my neck and shoulder were really, really hurting by that point. But you two carried on playing it all the way to the end. Anna, did you finish the demo of it, do I recall?
Yep.
Yeah,
what did you think of it?
It's a lovely little game. It's like Spyro, Mario,
Crash. Had a bit of Crash in it.
Yeah, Crash. It's just a nice, very high coloured game. I don't know.
So is it on your shopping list?
Is
it out this year?
Yeah, I think it's out in November.
Did you not feel that Lucky needed maybe a bit more? I can't think of the word. If I say personality, it sounds like I'm criticising, but I'm not. I just mean like Banjo and Mario and Sonic and so forth are quite. I guess they're old, so it's like nostalgia, but they're mascot-like, and this has the potential to be like that. But it just needs that hook that turns it into a whole series of things. Do you know what I mean? I know it's not. It's probably not going to be their massive thing, but I don't know. I just felt like while I was watching it, I was thinking, this is like, it feels like it's an inch away from being, oh yeah, Lucky from Lucky's Tale. You know, I'm assuming that is his name. I don't even know. Yeah. This is the name of the game. You know, you always feel like it's that inch away from having its own cartoon on Nickelodeon or whatever, and becoming a thing where, you know, my son would want pajamas with him on and that sort of thing. You know, he just needs that little spark to become the next Pikachu or something.
I mean, there might be more to it. I don't know. You might be right.
Then not everything needs to, does it? You know?
No, I mean it isn't an original game. It was originally on an Oculus Rift. Microsoft have bought the rights to it or whatever they've done with it. They've licensed it to put on their console. So it's not a Microsoft IP.
I'm really interested in how that could work on the Oculus Rift. I'm confused.
Yeah. There's videos online of it. It is basically just like you were looking over him.
Yeah,
like you would do. It's not like you're not first person. It's just a platformer in virtual reality. It's not much different to the actual game is on the Xbox. So
boring.
I thought this was a rehash of a very old game. I'm now wondering what game I'm thinking of. Obviously not Tales from Sonic, but I'm sure there's another sort of platformer-y Fox game that's older than... Because I just had a quick look thinking, no, it goes back beyond the Rift, but obviously I trust your knowledge more than mine, but I swear there's another...
I mean, it could be. I mean, Nokia's could have bought the rights to that to make a Lucky's game again. But like I said,
not by the looks of it. But...
No. Well, there you go then.
Is there anything else that any of you lot played that we haven't talked about before me and Anna get into the game of the show? The best game we played all weekend as we were walking out the door.
Sheepdog has a few games, don't you?
You've written down Pokken Tournament and Mario Luigi Superstar Saga Bowser's Minions. That's a long title.
Yeah, that's Mario and Luigi Bowser's Minions one. I didn't like, to be honest. It's a 3DS game. I thought, I'll jump into that, and you know, if it's any good, then I'd love an excuse to play with 3DS a bit more. I've been really into that lately, and it was just frustrating. Maybe it's because I didn't really have a chance to sit and try and figure out the puzzle, you know, what was going on. But I'm kind of wandering around the world map and getting into the odd RPG style battle, but very quickly the battles just became a bit samey. It was like you them to attack, they'd pull their hammer back. If you pressed A at the right time, you'd super smash them. If you pressed it too late, the hammer would fall off and you'd hit them with a stick. You'd have to stack Mario on Luigi's shoulders or vice versa to jump over things. And I was just like, okay, yeah, it just feels a little bit like it's, I don't know, if it wasn't Mario and Luigi, it probably wouldn't have ever got anywhere. So yeah, I wouldn't personally want that. Pokken Tournament is basically Pokemon Tekken, so yeah, obviously I was going to like that. I was saying to Pab that a little bit of me was sad that there was only 28 Pokemon that you could play as, but yeah. I recognise how that's quite a lot for a fighting game. You wouldn't expect Street Fighter and Tekken to have 800 characters to choose from. So me expecting every Pokemon's probably a bit much. But I don't know. I feel like it could have had a bit more. I feel like it could have had a bit more choice. I just went from Mewtwo. The person I was playing against went for another Pokemon. We battled each other. I really enjoyed it. I do think that it's one that if when I get a Switch, that's a game I would want, and I know that my kids would love it because they love Pokemon as much as I do. So I think we'd get a lot of mileage out of it. But I kind of just wish there was I think I would have played the hell out of it if there was kind of a, do more battles, churn through more story or whatever to unlock more Pokemon. Whereas knowing it's kind of capped at 28, unless it's starting me off with Pikachu and I have to make my way up to Mewtwo, I don't really know what to expect. But no, I think I always kind of wrote that off as a pointless game in the back of my mind, but it does seem pretty cool and I'm glad I played it.
Splendid. And then as we were leaving, to the point where we'd already signed off on the video and had to record a little extra bit at the end, Anna just sort of toddled off and we looked around and found her, and she was sat playing a game right by the door that looked interesting. So I sat down and had a play on it as well. And it was brilliant. It's called Yoku's Island Express. Is that what it's called? Yeah. But it was basically a pinball platforming game where it's a little fella pushing a ball around, and he pushes the ball around a normal 2D platform map, and occasionally there'll be triggers like flippers, like on a pinball table, and you press the right trigger for a right flipper and the left trigger for a left flipper, and they're the only controls really. You're just flipping the things around to knock his ball around this really cleverly put together pinball course, and I just thought it was absolutely superb. It was just a really, really good game that I would go out and spend cash money on. And you know how much I dislike spending money on games, but I would buy this one. I thought it was brilliant. How did you even stumble across it, Anna? Did you know it existed before?
No, I just liked the art. They have their big splash screens of like big adverts, and I thought, that looks pretty. I want to go and have a look while you were doing the outro, so I did. And now I'm glad I did. Because it's very good. Yeah.
I'm very, very impressed with it. It was a very, very cool little game. You two didn't have a go on it, did you? You just sort of hovered behind us watching.
No.
It was like 5:45. And we were trying to say, we were saying, weren't we, that the whole place.
You were saying you wanted to go because you wanted to get home.
Yeah, I had a baby to rescue my wife from. No, I didn't all day. How dare you?
Kevin?
I was very cheerful.
Kevin?
What?
Was it not all day about when are we going to eat? Oh, why can't you eat here? Oh, why do you have to have a coffee? Like,
yeah, you were against coffee.
I was against coffee because I didn't want you to spend an hour at the service station like you normally do, and I was very pleased that you didn't. You spent like 10 minutes there.
I had to have my poo when we got home. I wasn't happy about it.
I was, because I actually got home and saw the kids and was able to sort out the baby. Whereas, you were just sort of acting like you were going to get us home by about 10, and it seemed a bit unnecessary when it finishes at 6 and we live an hour and a half away.
Your face is unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very, very, very good game, and you need to look it up and find. Does it exist? Is it out yet? When is it out? It was in the indie area.
2018.
2018? No, it needs to be out now.
I was on the platform waiting to get on my train, and the Team 70 guy was talking to some students there, and he was telling about certain games, and that one's coming out. He said you've got ages for that. Yeah, it's not coming out until 2018.
Oh, well, I'll have forgotten it exists by then.
Yeah, but I won't. So I'll get it and then
need to remind me. Yeah. But
so shall do.
It was very, very good. It's highly recommended. It gets the Kev seal of approval, and everyone knows there's no higher seal of approval than the Kev seal of approval, which is what that game now has. So congratulations to Yoku's Island Express for being the best game at EGX this year, because you were brilliant. Does anyone disagree with me on what the best game was?
We didn't see it until right at the end, because it was at the entrance, but it was away because we.
But when we went in, somebody ran past all that towards Assassin's Creed, so we didn't look at anything at the entrance. So we were too busy chasing you. But no, it was a great game. The weekend was an excellent weekend. It was a great EGX. That's 2 expos in a row now where it's been a really, really positive experience. Some people have been saying in my comments and my videos that I'm just being less miserable, but I don't think it is that. I think we're actually starting to see a sign that the gaming industry is finally getting its act together, because I'm not ever deliberately miserable about it. I'm miserable about it when it's rubbish. And these EGX this time, Insomnia last month, they've not been rubbish. They've been really good. They've had good games. They've been fun weekends. And long may it continue. And I hope we go into Play Expo in a couple of weeks' time. And that makes it a hat-trick of really cool game conventions. Because it has been, it was just a really, really good weekend with a really solid lineup of games. Just the right amount of games to have something to play all weekend, not leave thinking, I wish I'd played that, although now I know Detroit was there, I'm a little bit like that, but at the time, I didn't leave thinking, I wish I'd played that, but at no point was I bored and looking for something to do either. It was just a really good balance, and hopefully next year's will be just as awesome.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right, we've hit our hour point, so we're going to wrap things up there. We'll get back to normal service next week, where we'll have a normal show, and then leading into the Play Expo coverage and the Comic-Con coverage as we move on into October. But for now, I feel it's necessary to remind you that if you enjoyed the show, then what you should probably do is follow us on Twitter at MGUK Podcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
Anna.
What?
Twitter.
Oh, I'm at Mr. Lucio. Sorry, you're breaking up real bad, so I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you have been for about 10 minutes. So go on.
Pab 1986.
Apologies if I've been breaking up for 10 minutes. It's nice of them to tell me. Shh. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MatureGamerPodcast, and you can see the videos that were produced over the weekend by going to lelujo.fm. We've got 2 gaming videos and 2 behind-the-scenes vlogs that include us going out for dinner, so lots and lots of video coverage of the EGX weekend as well, and obviously all my other gaming videos on there as well, including FIFA 18, which is out this week and we'll talk about next week. But I think that's and Sheepdog has a website as well that exists.
I do. Sheepdograts.com, coming up for 7,000 reads.
See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.